Welcome to the Fully Booked Podcast, presented by Instant Edge. If you're a coach, consultant, or aspiring thought leader, this is the show for you. Your host, Jonathan Clark, has years of experience he's sharing with you to help you get found, get hired, and get paid. Let's dive into today's episode.
Is Fully Booked Thought Leaders. Good afternoon if you're in the UK. Good morning, wherever else you might be. This is Jonathan. How are you? It's Monday afternoon, and we are going to do something a little bit different today. So, as you know, the whole purpose and reason, raison d'etre, of this group existing is to help coaches, consultants, authors, experts, speakers, traders, and therapists, which I collectively call thought leaders, to become fully booked, to have a full diary, to have the kind of income that you want to have, to finance the lifestyle that you want to live, coming in consistently and regularly on a normal, stable basis. And every week I'm here telling you something in the world of business building, practice building, marketing, etc., to help you get to that stage. But what I want to do today is twofold, and I have a kind of covert outcome. What I want to do is run a series of live streams over the next few Mondays, all focused on building a consistent and lucrative practice, whether it's a coaching practice or a diary full of training sessions or speaking gigs, or if you want to do more coaching, you want to do more consulting, whatever that might look like. But at the same time, I want to use these live streams and repurpose them to create content for a new book. And one of my reasons for doing that is I am a firm believer in books being the world's best business card. They are a phenomenal positioning tool. They elevate your status through the roof, and you can charge higher fees, and you tend to get better clients if they come to you through your book funnel. So I've written 17 books so far, but I'm currently got 3 works in progress. So that'll be 20 before the end of the year, hopefully sooner. And we just got our 39th Amazon best-selling author, got to number 1 there on launch date, which was Friday. We launched on Friday lunchtime, I think it was, and they were number 1 by the afternoon, which is pretty cool going. So I'm very, very much into books, and I think we're going to do 2 things here. 1, you're going to learn a lot of useful information about building an easy, lucrative, and fun business. And number 2, we're going to create a book at the same time. And if you want to ask questions, you want to contribute, you want to chip in, then we'll make sure your stuff gets included in this book. And if you want a credit in the book, we'll give you a credit in the book as well. But it's also demonstrating for you how you can speak a book. You don't need to sit and type at a typewriter or a keyboard for the next 10 years trying to get your thing done. You could literally hold a Zoom call and you can have a group discussion, and it would actually generate content at the speed of sound. So hopefully you can model this and use this whole idea to do the same thing. All right. So that's where we're going. Good afternoon, Willie Nicol, just down the road from me. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm very good, very good, very good. Enjoying the heat. It's actually got warm here for a change. It's not as warm as the beach that Amanda lives on, because Amanda's always on the beach when I see her. How are you, Amanda?
I'm good, thank you. It's very warm here in sunny Durham. It's actually sunny Durham.
But the sun and the heat makes us all a lot happier, you know, so enjoy it while you can. Anita is somewhere in Canada. Give us an update when you get a chance, Anita.
I am, and it had some showers here, but it's fairly warm. We're not quite as warm as you are yet, Jonathan, because it's 10 after 9 in the morning. But we're going to go up towards 19, I believe. 19 today.
The dizzying heights of 1987. And remind us where you are, Anita.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the Toronto area in Canada. Just outside of Toronto, it's called Mississauga, but it's like London. It's the greater Toronto area, just like the greater London area, if you will. There's a likeness to that.
Well, one of our favorite TV programs is a thing called Race Across the World, which we're watching at the moment. And right now they're racing across Canada. So I am heaven watching them go running around from one coast to the next, which is fun. I think
awesome.
They're deep in Saskatchewan at the moment, trying to catch a train.
That's the coldest place. I don't know if it's factual because it sounds awful, but they say that in Saskatchewan, in Winnipeg, that is one of the coldest places on the planet. Yuck. But that doesn't mean all of Canada is that cold.
Absolutely.
We're a huge country, right? So BC, rarely see snow, but, you know, they get a wet climate with rain. But it's funny, the different seasons. The East Coast gets a little more snow. But, you know, I'm proud to say, like many places in the world, it is a beautiful country.
Absolutely. And I'm coming over there in October. I cannot wait.
Yes, you'll enjoy it.
I will indeed. All right.
And hopefully I'll see you there.
I know, we need to rendezvous. Okay, let me open with an interesting and possibly depressing statistic, which we're going to change, which is this. 19% of businesses survive the first 5 years. 1 in 5, which means 4 in 5 ain't going to make it, which is quite an interesting statistic. We want to make sure you're definitely in one of the 4 out of the 5 in the first 5 years. If you're already past year 1, then well done. Your chances of reaching year 5, I think, double every year that you're in business. So congratulate yourself for that. I'm currently on year 27 of running my own business and having good times doing so. Okay, so today is all about creating a consistent, predictable, lucrative, and prosperous practice, whatever your practice happens to be. So if you're a speaker, it's about getting more speaker gigs and getting in front of more audiences. If you are a trainer, it's about filling more training courses and getting paid for your attendees. If you are a coach, it's getting more people into your coaching program or getting more clients. If you're doing therapy, then it's about booking more therapy appointments and ultimately having a waiting list and filling your clinic or your room. All right. If you're a consultant, it's about getting more consulting gigs and getting into more corporates and getting paid well for what you do. And that's what this is all about. So well done for being here. And over the next few weeks, my aim is to get you to get your practice to new heights of personal satisfaction and financial reward at the end of the day. And it's only a small percentage of people who will actually do something to achieve their goals and dreams. I love this old adage that I heard years ago, that there are a bunch of people in the world who make things happen. There are a bunch of people in the world that watch things happen. And there's a whole bunch of people who go, whammed, who miss it completely, right? 95% of people will wait and see and will play safe and will not stick their neck out, which usually leads to more confusion, more frustration, more fear, and they just get deeper into the quagmire. I'm hoping that you're watching this and you're one of the 5% who actually are going to look at the world and judge it and go, I'm not happy with the way things are. I want to improve them, especially in the area of my business and my diary and my income. And if you're willing to do that, then you look forward to having infinite upside. There is no upper limit to what your business can earn you. Okay. You can finance your lifestyle, whatever your lifestyle wants to be. And if you're in that small percentage of people who are really doing something to achieve their goals and their dreams, especially around creating a successful, prosperous practice, then you are in exactly the right place. Most people, unfortunately, go through life without ever really either having goals and desires or pursuing them. You know, I was listening to a great song on a talent show when a girl came up on stage with a guitar and played this song. And then it was revealed later on that she was a singer-songwriter who had already achieved some kind of fame. And it was a big reveal that this was actually her on stage kind of thing. But I love the song. And of course, now that I'm recommending it, can I find it? I will find it for you and put it in the comments. But it's all about when you're young, you know, young kids are running about wanting to be astronauts and wanting to be jungle explorers, wanting to be the next Indiana Jones or rocket scientists. And as you go through the primary education system and then the secondary education system, and if you go to university or college or whatever, you get kicked in the teeth, you get smacked in the back, you get kidney punched, you get knocked down a few times, you get conditioned, you get institutionalized. And very often you give up on your hopes and desires because, hey, they haven't happened yet, so they're probably not going to. Okay. But as he said in the Batman movie, it's not getting knocked down that matters, it's standing back up again, right? The ability to, as Winston Churchill once said, to stagger from one crushing disappointment to the next crushing disappointment without losing enthusiasm. So keep going, never give up. One thing I'm really bad at is giving up. I am doggedly determined to get to what I want to get to. And I've learned in my 57 years of existence on this planet that I usually get what I want. It's just a matter of how long it takes me. So on that basis, I don't want you going through your life not pursuing your goals. I'd like you to actually go after things that give you joy and give you all the values and satisfaction and freedom and fun that you actually want. All right. And your business is a vehicle to do that. Your business is one method in order for you to meet your values and needs. Human beings have values and needs. This is just one way to go about getting them. Okay. We actually teach a module of that in the paid group, the Get Found group, on values. In fact, it's the number 1 module. It's the first module we start with. is on your personal core values. And what is it you actually want in life? You are constantly pursuing certain emotional states. You are constantly pursuing values that have been hardwired into your nervous system through your previous experience. So if you've had trust in the past, then you want trust now. If you've had fun in the past, then you want fun now. And unconsciously, you will spend all your time, all your energy, and all your money pursuing these values, either consciously or unconsciously. So ultimately, that driving compass is the sat-nav, and your business is a vehicle that you can use in order to achieve those values, right? So if you build a business because you need security, well, let's put a number on it. How much money is financial security? How much do you need to make in a month? How much do you need to make in a year? If you like the freedom of being self-employed, that's probably why you're in this group. If you don't like taking orders and you like to be the creator of your own destiny, then you're in the right place, right? And what these next few weeks are all about is talking about what it really takes to have a successful practice and helping you create the career and lifestyle that you've always really wanted. You imagined how your business would be when you started it. And I would like you to finally have the time, freedom, or the money, or whatever it was you envisaged when you launched the business. All right. So congratulations on being here. You should be quite pleased you've taken the first step. So my goal in putting this together for you is to turn you into a successful practitioner. Have that therapy or training or coaching practice that you're very proud of, that is prosperous, that is lucrative, and you enjoy it. Okay. I'm not going to take a lot of time talking about how and why you should listen to me, because hopefully you've come to know me through my weekly live streams. At a bare minimum, you've read some of my posts or you've been in this group for a while, so you already know my story. I really want you to understand something about where we're going. So this isn't about me. This is absolutely about you. We're going to talk a lot about marketing and practice building. And some of it you might not have heard of before. Some of it you might have heard before. I want you to be open-minded. I want you to keep your brain open. As my first personal development teacher, Zig Ziglar, famously said, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open, right? And most people's minds are like concrete, all mixed up and permanently set. So we need you to be open-minded. And if you think you've already heard it before, bear with me, because there's a big difference between hearing it and doing it. You're also going to get a bunch of strategies that might seem a little off the wall and kind of unconventional. You may even come across some techniques and strategies that you immediately think won't work in your town or your city or your industry. Again, keep an open mind. Okay. So empty your mind of everything that you already know about marketing and building a practice, and take the opportunity now to fill your brain with some effective, battle-tested and proven systems. If you can do that, then you'll be calling or emailing me to thank me for what you've achieved in the next 90 days or so, because I'm going to teach you what works in the real world, right? This is working with real people in the real world, with real problems and real strategies to help them, okay? Now, none of that will matter if you prejudge it or if you close your mind to what I'm going to show you. So grab a notepad and paper. This will be available on replay. Find a comfortable place to sit, open your brain, and we're going to talk about you becoming fully booked. Okay? Okay. Most practitioners, most people who are speakers, coaches, consultants, trainers, authors, whatever, have been taught that when they complete their schooling and open their practice or launch their business, whether that's in a premises or wherever it might be, that all they have to do is get a shiny brochure, a shiny business card, and a website, and they are going to be fully booked. And in my experience, that's not how it works. If that's all it took, if all it took was people to have a brochure, a website, and a business card, then we would all be completely chock-a-block. Or they think that adding more qualifications to their list of ologies, therapists especially do this. They'll go and learn EFT, then they'll go and learn Reiki, then they'll go and learn Shen, then they go and learn CBT, then they go into any number of methodologies, thinking that the more of these I've got on my list, the more clients I'm going to get. And I hate to tell you, but that is not how it works. Clients don't really care how many ologies you've got on your list. All they care about is, can you make their problem disappear? All that clients care about is, does your stuff work, and is it going to get me the result I want? That's all they're really interested in, right? It's not about you. So you can have business cards, you can have ads in the local directories, you can do gift certificates, thinking that that's what's going to work. And most practitioners are taught that their success is highly dependent on how good they are at delivering a quality talk or a quality therapy session. Or, if I write a good book, it's going to be a bestseller. Well, I hate to tell you, it's best-selling, not best written. Take that on board. You're probably taught that your professionalism will be the key to your success, that people will come to you once they hear about how good you are. All right? Now, let me be honest with you. I've met a lot of people who are world-class at what they do. They are awesome at what they do. They can change someone's life in one conversation. They can motivate a group in one talk. But if nobody knows that you exist, you're going to live a long time broke, right? It's not about your professionalism. It's not about your bedside manner. I know lots of people who are prolific marketers. When I was in the NLP world, I'm an NLP trainer, so I was running NLP training courses, certifying lots of people. I've done, I think, 39 practitioner courses and about 50 master practitioner courses, trained a lot of people, trained over 2,000 people. There were a lot of people in the NLP world at trainers who were very, very prolific marketers, but there was a trail of horror stories and casualties and dismay behind them. I've seen trainers arguing on stage with each other. I've seen trainers being really, really rude and damaging to students. But you know what? Their courses were fully booked. There was one major life coaching training company, who I will not name. They actually changed the name of the company because of their terrible reputation, who used to bring in 300, 400 people into their free events and then sell them on a training course, which had no certification, wasn't recognized by any governing bodies. And at the end of it, they just weren't very good coaches. And lots of people tried to get their money back, and lots of unhappy customers and stuff. And they just basically left town and changed their name and set up somewhere else and started all over again. He or she who markets best wins. Write that down. He or she who markets best wins. And you've probably seen other people in your industry who don't care as much as you do, who don't do as much of a good job as you do, who've got less experience, maybe even less qualifications than you do, but they're busier than you are. And why? Because they are prolific marketers. And that's the honest answer, right? So, and I don't like to sound negative or a downer about something. It's just that that's the way it works. If you're in business, and you are in business, by the way, if it was only about how good you are, if it was only about how gifted you are, or how skilled you are as a therapist or a coach or a consultant, whatever, then we'd all be completely fully booked. But I know a lot of people who are really, really good at what they do, and they're struggling, and they don't have the full diary that they'd like to have. In fact, most of the people in this group will be here simply because they're not fully booked. That's the whole point, right? Well, how can that be? It's probably because you're just not visible enough. People don't know about you and don't know what you can do, and you're not making it easy for them to get to you. So we want to change that, okay? I always remember the Aromatherapy Guild in the UK, the Guild of Aromatherapy, published statistics to say that only 19% of their certified graduates, people who would leave their guild, their association, their schools, trained in aromatherapy. They said, if they declared 19% will make their money back from their investment and run a successful aromatherapy practice. So, wow, 81% of your students will never, ever, ever make a living from aromatherapy. Well, why the hell would I sign up to that training? And why the hell are you not solving that problem? Why is the Aromatherapy Guild not then teaching a practice building or marketing business building module or course? To me, there's an obvious opportunity there to make sure that the other 81% do get a return on their investment. Does that make sense? So on average, most coaches and consultants in the UK earn less than 40,000 a year. And the £40,000 a year used to be a lot of money. It's not a lot of money now. You could live on it. You could be comfortable on it. Yes, absolutely. But where's the six-figure coaches that you hear about? I don't meet many. So 80% wish they had more clients and wish they had more money. And that's what we are talking about here today. Okay? So let me take you back to this one. And this is something that I really want you to get clear in your head. The difference between features, advantages, and benefits. This is an old adage that's been around for a long, long time. And if you've ever done any kind of sales training, this is a core fundamental part of it. There's features, there's advantages and there's benefits, and then there's end results. Features are what it does, right? So if I was to give you this pencil sharpener, here's a pencil sharpener, and it's got a little slidey compartment that you can open to put your pencil in, and it actually locks once the pencil is taken out, so it stays shut. It's also a detachable little compartment you can pull off to put your shavings into the rubbish bin. Fantastic. Those are features. Those are all features. Does anybody buy that pencil sharpener because of those features? No, they don't. What's the advantages to this? What's the advantage? Well, number one, the advantage of the little slidey hatch there is that it won't let any shavings back out. So this thing's not going to leak. And it is quite well put together, and it's not going to collapse in your hands. Let me show you a bigger picture of this. No, I'm showing you a small screen. So this little thing is going to, it actually detaches like that and opens up. That little clear compartment there is full of pencil shading. Okay? So it contains everything. That's an advantage. It's going to be neat and tidy on my desk. Now, who gives a shit? What's the benefit of that? What's the benefit of that? It means I can sharpen my pencil anytime I want and go about my business. I don't need to stop. I don't need to find a rubbish bin. I don't need to sharpen the pencil over a trash can so I can pour it all in. I can literally keep on going without being interrupted. So uninterrupted work, even if my pencil gets blunt. That's a benefit, right? But what's the end result of that? Time saved, convenience, sharp pencils whenever I want them. Those are the benefits, which means more writing, more note-taking, more comfort. Now, this is a small, trivial example because we're talking about pencils, but I want you to get the point. One of the major things that people get wrong is they sell features. They think that their online course, if it has 55 modules, is going to sell more that's only got 5 modules. Wrong. Well, my presentation has 112 slides, which is better than 12 slides. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Your online course, so many people spend months on online courses designing perfect PDFs and shooting great videos and making sure they've got a discussion forum and all these bells and whistles. Only to discover nobody actually wants the course because the course doesn't offer them a result. An online course, people buy an online course not because they want to study, not because they want to spend 10 hours at their computer. They buy an online course so the online course will give them an end result. It'll solve them a problem. It'll fix something, or it'll give them information that they're looking for, right? This is really, really important. Really, really important. So it's not about learning new techniques. It's not by saying, I've got 5 more ologies on my list. No one cares. What they care about is the end result, okay? So you're becoming more knowledgeable and becoming masters of every new and exciting technique that is out there. I'll buy a chat bot. That's going to make me money. Not necessarily. I'll start using ChatGPT. That's going to make me money. Not necessarily. I'll get a new website. That's going to make my phone ring. Not necessarily. You're kidding yourself up. In business, and again, that's what you're in, it's not about who is the best product or service or delivery. It's about who can market and sell the product or service the best. That's a fact. And knowing how to get clients, write this down, please. Knowing how to get clients is infinitely more valuable than any other knowledge you can learn in business. Because what's the purpose of business? The purpose of business is to get clients and make money, make profit, period. So the very first foundational principle that you must grasp if you're ever going to become fully booked and successful as a practitioner is that you are not in the business of massage or diabetes or whatever area you're in. You're in the business of marketing that. And that's a big difference, right? So think of it, you're not in therapy, you're in the business of therapy, or you're in the business of marketing therapy. You're not a coach, you're in the business of marketing coaching. That's a huge mindset shift, and it's something that I recommend you make now if you haven't already. It's vital that you make this shift now. What business are you in? The business of marketing and selling your topic or your niche. As of today, I would like you to stop thinking that you're a therapist or a coach or a yoga teacher or an electrician or whatever line of work you might be in. As of today, you need to start realizing you're a business owner in diabetes or in coaching, all right? That's the bottom line. Until you make that giant mental leap in your head to accept the fact that you're a marketer of your topic first and foremost and a provider of your topic second. Until you get that, you're never going to have the size of practice or client base that you want or deserve. Hopefully this is an epiphany for you. The reality of business is that the best marketer wins. That's just a fact. Now, think about Domino's Pizza, for example. Domino's Pizza. I'm sure you've got Domino's wherever you are. Does Domino's have the best tasting pizza? That's a matter of opinion. Does Domino's have the best customer service? Probably not. Does it have the best, healthiest ingredients? Probably not. It's a takeaway pizza place. Does Domino's claim to have any homemade sauce from the old country that has a secret recipe? I don't think so. Yet Domino's Pizza has become one of the largest, most popular, most lucrative chain of pizzerias on the planet. Why? Because they know how to market their product. All right? Let's look at McDonald's. Does McDonald's have the best cheeseburgers on the planet? You could ask yourself, is McDonald's even food or food products? Do they have the best customer service? Do they claim that they are experts in food preparation? I don't think so. Do they have the most comfortable dining atmosphere? Is the ambience and luxury of a McDonald's restaurant what you go for? No. Wrong. But guess what? McDonald's is very, very good at marketing. Okay? In fact, they're insanely profitable and they know how to market their product. And that's the key point. So I could give you loads of examples of businesses that don't have the best product in the world, don't have the best bedside manner, don't have the best delivery or customer service or follow-up, right? Yet they're doing infinitely more business than anyone else in their marketplace. Truth, fact, reality. Now, I'm not in any way, shape or form implying that you should just market better and then deliver poor substandard service. Absolutely not. You still give a damn. You still care. You still do your best for the client. And hopefully the client will do their best back. But you've got to be a good marketer. And you've also got to be good at what you do. It's easier just to have a job. It's easier to be employed. That's why more people are employed than self-employed. Because when you're self-employed, you've got to do all of this stuff. You've got to do all of the stuff. And that's why most people avoid it like the plague. Because it's easier just to show up at a job and check in every day and do your hours and come home. And if you're a good boy or a good girl, and you do what you're supposed to be doing, then generally they'll pay you. However, the days of job security and knowing that you've got employment for life are sadly gone. Because, household names can disappear overnight, unfortunately. That happens all the time. So don't get complacent if you're thinking about having a job. It's not necessarily a better option. And if you stick with me over the next few weeks, you need one anyway. Because here's the deal. You don't need a job. You need an income. You need an income. You don't need a job. There's lots of ways to get an income, preferably legal and ethically. But you don't need a job. You need an income. Keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. All right? You are everything in your business. You are the CEO. You are the janitor and everywhere in between. You're going to be dealing with the finances. You're going to be dealing with the marketing. You're going to be dealing with all that stuff, customer service, delivery, everything. Now, at first, it's daunting because it's just little old you. But as your business grows and as you start to bring in more revenue, you can then afford to outsource and delegate and get a VA and invest in systems and automate stuff so that a lot of the heavy lifting gets taken from you. But initially, you're doing all of it. You're absolutely doing all of it. And that's just part of the gig. Another reason why only 19% of new businesses actually survive, because when you get busy, have you got capacity? Can you handle the extra workload? Can you still deliver the goods when you're inundated, right? I remember I had that problem in the marketing agency where we got really, really busy. We discovered that we had a kind of limit to how many clients we could comfortably handle at any one time. And if we went over that limit, we dropped the ball. And that wasn't good enough. So be careful of that. Okay. So without your phone ringing and clients walking into your practice or coming to your website or downloading your lead magnet or watching your videos or whatever, you can be the best, most knowledgeable, caring, devoted practitioner in the world, but your practice will still struggle. And getting clients is the name of the game. Getting clients and marketing is the vehicle to get them. So write that down. Getting clients is the name of the game and marketing is the vehicle to get them. Okay. Now there's basically two ways to market your practice. The typical ineffective, expensive, image building, wasteful way that most practitioners do. It's also known as tombstone advertising. So, a billboard on the side of the sticky street with your logo and your website address and the name of your company. How many vans do you see? Contractor vans or tradesmen's vans where they've gone to the time and the effort and the money of having their van with the name of the company on it and the contact of it. It's usually a free Gmail account and a phone number. And it will say something like J. Clark and Son. And it doesn't tell me what they do. I don't know what they do. Do they do air conditioning? Are they plumbers? Are they scaffolders? I don't know what product service they do because they didn't pay for those extra letters on the van. I don't know what they do. So why would I phone them? How am I going to know I need them? Right? You see it all the time. I went to the home renovation show at the weekend in the Scottish Exhibition Centre. So all these stands, it cost about $5,000 each to have a stand in a big exhibition centre for the weekend. I've done lots of those as a delegate and as an exhibitor. Laughed to myself when I stand back from somebody's stand and look at it, and there's two guys in suits, there's a bowl of sweets to try and entice me, a couple of chairs, and maybe a roller banner that they got done at the local printer, and I have no idea what they do. I don't know if they're architects, insulation companies, roofers, accountants. I don't know what they do. And I'm like, wow. Wow. And they wonder why can we just walk past. It's costing $5,000. That's like paying $5,000 for a newspaper advert, right? And putting a picture of two guys in suits and a bowl of sweets and a phone number. Well, you sell sweets? I don't know. I have no idea. You see it all the time.
Jonathan, could I just interject? I have to laugh at that. I passed a van the other day there, which had a name on it and a number, and I thought, right? So, as it happened, I was looking for an electrician some months ago, and next door neighbour, fairly newly moved in, obviously it's the renovations. There we are, Joe Blogs, electrician, blah, 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 phone number. I phoned him up. A week later, he was doing my stuff. Another guy who does hypnotherapy, who's in a networking group, he's got T-shirts. Joe Blogs, hypnotherapist, phone number, or his T-shirt.
Look into my eyes.
He's a walking at. Which, to be fair, maybe it's just me, I thought was a bit naff. But, hey, is that better than a business card? I don't know.
Well, the question to ask him was, do you get phone calls from your T-shirts? You know, I've got a pal who's a roofer, and on his van it says available 23 and a half hours a day. And people always ask him, why is it 23? Just, I've got to sleep sometime. Right? But he will happily, if you ring him at 2 a.m. in the morning, he will happily come out and fix your roof if you get it. But it's that little hook that's enough. And it does say his name, and he does say he's a roofer. It does list all the things he fixes. But the one thing that gets him questions all day long is, why does it say 23 and a half hours? It's like, great. Signage, uniforms, all that kind of stuff. When I first got into network marketing, way back in the 80s, the company I worked for gave you two items. One, they gave you a box of perfumes to try and sell. The other thing they gave you was a big fluorescent yellow badge, and it was like Dayglow yellow, right? And it said, ask me how to. And I would walk about with this badge on all the, but do you know what? It absolutely worked. Because people would go, all right, how to what? And you could either sell them the product or you could sell them the opportunity. So you either say, well, how to smell amazing for half the cost that it would normally cost you, or how to build a secondary income that, to substitute as a side hustle and make more money. So depending on how you want to pitch it, but it was a conversation starter. If you've been to BNI, Business Networking International, the big networking organization that's worldwide, everybody in the BNI has a little pin, a little badge that they're told to wear. And it's a conversation. People are going to go, what's the badge? And you go, I'm glad you asked. And you go into your pitch, right? But it's a conversation starter. Now, here's something else I want you to write down. Your income is directly related to how many conversations you have about your product or service. Your income is directly related to how many conversations you have about your product or service. So in the MLM world, the network marketing world, common training is talk to 5 people a day, talk to 5 people a day, talk to 5 people a day. If you're not talking to 5 people a day about your opportunity or your products, then you're not going to sell anything, or you're not going to sign somebody up. And in network marketing, if you haven't signed somebody up today or sold some product today, your business has done nothing today, because those are the two primary functions of a network marketing business. And arguably, the two primary functions of any business is to get a client in the door and sell a product. If you haven't done that, so have you talked to 5 people today? Or will you have talked to 5 people today by the end of today? That's 25 people a week. If you're talking to 25 people a week, then you're bound to get clients. Now, yes, there's ways to refine what do you say and how do you start a conversation and da-da-da. But are you having that level of activity? Chances are you're not. And people always go, oh, it's a numbers game. Well, yeah, and that's one of the numbers. 5 a day. If you went on LinkedIn and connected with 10 people who are in your target market every single day, then roughly half of them are going to connect back with you. If you then started a conversation with them, you'll be having 5 quality conversations with people who are in your target market every single day. Now, that's completely free. And you can do it from your sofa 24/7 with no spam filters and email filters to stop you getting the message through. But are you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? It's one of the ways it works. So Amanda says, I never know what to say online to people. Well, fortunately, we have cut and paste messages that you can literally copy and stick into the box and hit send. And it's all conversation. It's all rapport building. It's not buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It's not what I call pitch slapping. I got pitch slapped this morning. I got a girl saying, oh yeah, I'd love to join your network. We have mutual friends, blah, blah, blah. And I went, oh great. Hi, how you doing? How's things? We help product, blah, 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 blah. Would you like a phone call? No. I got another one the other day from a lady saying, we help authors publish their books and make sales and become bestsellers. And I'm always happy to share my advice. And I messaged her back and said, have you even read my LinkedIn profile? Because we do that. So I don't know how I showed up in your list, but you didn't even look at my profile before you pitched me. That's what I call pitch slapping. That's not what works. Everybody hates it and it generally doesn't work. What you do is you connect with them going, hey, how you would talk to people on LinkedIn the same way as you talk to people at a coffee station in a networking event. You go, hi, my name is Jonathan. How are you doing? Great. How's business? Just have a conversation. Just ask some questions. The person, I'll write this down. The person asking the questions is controlling the conversation, aren't they? The person asking the questions is controlling the conversation. If you've ever found yourself telling your life story to somebody, it's probably because they asked you a bunch of questions and you will go away feeling they're a great conversationalist. And they are a great conversationalist because they get you to do all the talking. And the way they did that was they asked lots of questions. So ask lots of questions. How's business? Now, no matter what business you're in, you should have some qualifying questions that would help you to understand if the person you're talking to is a prospect or not. Is the person you're talking to likely to become a client? What do you need to ask? Like if I say to someone, have you ever thought about turning your knowledge into other products and services, like a book or an online course or a coaching program or seminars and workshops? If they say, oh, I do all of those, then they don't need me. They don't need me. If I say, what do you think of having a book as a positioning tool? And they go, I've got 15 books. Well, you don't need me then. Or have you ever turned any of your books into an online course? That'd probably be my next question. Have you ever thought about turning your book into an online course? Because it's really easy to do that for another income stream for free. That might start a conversation. But you should have qualifying questions that you can start asking people to find out whether they need you or not. And that's going to be different in every industry. Okay? So institutional marketing is that tombstone ads, is that thing about name of company. We've been in business for 150 years and we're really good at what we do. Phone number. Nobody cares. What does work nowadays and has worked for the last probably 30, 40 years is direct response marketing. Direct response marketing is where you talk to a specific individual about a specific problem and tap into the pain of that problem and offer them a solution to that problem. Do you have this headache? We have the cure. That's basically it. All marketing is basically, I want less of this and I want more of that. So how would you like less of that and more of this? They're probably going to go, yeah, I'm interested. Great. Then if you make it easy for them to come into your sales funnel, so give them a phone number, give them a website address, give them a free download, give them a free video, right? We're about to launch a new service called Instant Discovery Call. It's an AI voice assistant. So when someone phones the office, they're going to be talking to a computer. They're going to be talking to an AI, and AI is programmed to talk to them like a human being. Have a conversation, ask all the relevant questions, gather the information, stick it in an Excel spreadsheet and email it to me. So, and it answers within 2 rings, right? I phoned my GP surgery the other day. And I was on the phone for 20 minutes before somebody actually picked up the phone. Now, it's 5 minutes away. I happened to walk past and I saw no one in reception and no cars in the car park. So I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't answering the phone. Our AI voice assistant will answer within 2 rings. And we tested it with 30 people, all phoning the same number at the same time. And it had 30 conversations and answers within 2 rings. That's one of the things that we'll do. Anyway, we're about to launch Instant Discovery Call. And we've set up a landing page. So someone will come to this landing page and they can see a headline. They can see some benefits. And there's a video, which we've scripted to sell it. And then there's a request more information. We've got a single sheet of information, PDF, that we can send you. Just put your name and email in the box and we'll send it. Even if it's 2:00 in the morning, we'll send it to you right away. And the whole thing's completely automated. Completely automated. All right. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Make it easy, right? Who's it aimed at? It's aimed at busy business owners who have a lot of incoming calls and they're not happy with their current setup, whether that's a receptionist or a call center, or they've got setters and appointment handlers and all that kind of thing, or it's all voicemail, however they do it. We can replace all that with something that will always have the right accent, the right voice. It will sell the company. It will have the voice of the company, the culture of the company. And it'll say, so tell me, how many inbound calls do you get in a day? You tell it. You go, great. How many of those turn into sales? Great. Imagine if you never missed an opportunity or never missed a lead. And all we're offering them is a free one sheet. Just put your name and email in the box. Now, guess what? I've now got a lead. I've now got a name and an email and a phone number, which the system will automatically follow up every week and drip feed on them in a sequence that I call buy or die. So they'll either buy or they'll unsubscribe or whatever. All automated, completely automated. That's making it easy. And that can be set up in a few hours, right? So direct response marketing. For example, I went to, my friend Keely invited me to speak at a networking group a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. And I went and I talked about AI for about an hour. And I had this slide behind me. And unbeknownst to me, 20 people took their phone out and scanned that QR code. And when you scan that QR code, as I'm going to do right now, it takes you to foundhiredpaid.com automatically, which is a landing page. And the landing page has join our free Facebook group for aspiring thought leaders today. And a big button that says send my group invitation, an expensive publicity shot. And that's all that's on there. It's a one-page landing page. And when you click the button, it asks for your name and email and phone number. And boom, you join this group, fully booked. 20 people joined my group because of that QR code. I didn't have to mention it. I didn't have to say anything. 20 new members. And if you're one of them, thank you for joining. Right? But it worked. It worked. Easy. Easy peasy pea. That's direct response marketing. It's asking for a response. It's asking you to respond now. It's not waiting for 100 years because we're really good plumbers and we've been here for 50 generations and we're a family business, but no one cares. They've got a headache and they want it solved. And that's how you need to market. The typical business card style advertising that many businesses and practitioners use to get their name and phone number out in front of the public is old and dead and doesn't work. Right? The name of the practitioner or the name of the practice at the top, some kind of logo that you really care about, but nobody else does. A grocery list of services down the side and a phone number looks exactly the same as everybody else's business card. There's absolutely nothing that grabs their attention. There's no reason why they should act now. They'll just file it in the drawer and keep it and it'll get old and dusty. And there's certainly no reason why they should phone you and not any of your competitors. That's why it's called tombstone advertising, right? Institutional or brand marketing, as it's often known as. You can call it whatever you like. Just please don't do it. No one cares about your logo. No one cares about your color scheme. A lot of people I know go on about branding and they're brand consultants and all that kind of good stuff. And I get that. And yes, there's a place for it. But here's the thing. The Apple logo, right? I have an Apple iPhone. The Apple logo itself, I have no association to that. If I was a man from Mars, which you can believe, and I landed on planet Earth today, that symbol means nothing to me. But if I bought one of these handheld communication devices and now was able to talk to anyone on the planet through my little black mirror, right, I would then have a positive association to that brand because now I feel good about what that company built for me here. Does that make sense? But until I have that experience, until I have that buying experience, that means nothing. Nothing. So if you think that by leading with your logo or leading with your brand is enough to convince someone to buy from you, you're sadly mistaken. What I do need to know is who is this product for? What problems does it solve? What are the benefits of buying that product? How much does it cost? Do you offer me any kind of guarantee? And why should I buy this one and not a Samsung or an Ericsson or any other variety of phone that is out there? You need to give me those reasons to get a direct response from me. That's what works. Image advertising is typically ineffective, expensive, and a wasteful burning of money. It's based on the theory that if you repeatedly run an advertisement or you repeatedly flash your logo at somebody, over time they'll begin to recognize the name and they'll eventually respond to your ad. So that requires a lot more money to have that repetition, and it requires a lot of patience for it to finally work. And it takes a ton of guesswork and trial and error. The theory behind image style marketing, brand marketing, is loaded with fallacies and is hands down the worst way to market your services. And if you listen to any of the biggest marketers on the planet, especially online, they will tell you that direct response marketing has been the way to go for the last 50 years and is the way to go now. All right? I don't want your image out there. I don't want to be getting your name out there because you can't pay your mortgage with your image, right? It's followers for vanity, sales for sanity. I don't care how many followers you've got. I don't care. I don't care how many hits your website gets. What I'm interested in is how many convert into clients. If you have 1 million followers on your Instagram account, but you're not making any money from it, what's the point? Are you hoping that one day L'Oreal will come along and make you a deal? Good luck with that. You might have a long wait. Okay? We want people to respond to your marketing by picking up the phone or emailing you or messaging you or clicking a button or talking to your AI voice assistant or talking to your chatbot or whatever it is, because you've dangled a carrot that they can't resist. That's what we're talking about. Unfortunately, most trainers, coaches, speakers, consultants, authors are using image style marketing or old style institutional marketing. And that's what Dan Kennedy, who's a world famous marketing legend, called marketing incest. Practitioners copying other practitioners and coaches copying other coaches, or just spouting what their trainer taught them to say. So now they're all saying the same thing. And it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. The first and most important step in marketing is to get people's attention. You have to grab them by the eyeballs. You have to interrupt their trance. Have you seen on Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform, as you're scrolling on that endless toilet roll, you might see someone come up and they're holding a sign that says something like stop scrolling, or they're waving at you, right? Or they use something a little bit more risque to get your attention because they want you to stop the scroll. They want to interrupt you out of your trance and grab your eyeballs long enough for you to pay attention to their message. That's the big secret right there, is the hook. How do you hook them? How do you interrupt them? How do you snap them out of their trance, get their attention so they read your stuff? Your marketing will not do a dang thing unless it gets read. And people don't pay attention to ads about you or your credentials or your years of experience. It doesn't matter how big you are, how good you are, how nice and caring you tell people you are. If your ad looks like an ad, you aren't going to get their attention. Think about it. You are bombarded every single day with advertisements on billboards, on television, on the radio, in the newspaper, on the internet, in magazines, on vehicles, and in your mailbox. And because you're under this tsunami of marketing messages, we've learned how to tune out to anything that looks like an advert or a sales pitch. Same on LinkedIn, same on Facebook. You get a connection request, right? And you look at it and you go, I can feel a pitch coming. I'm about to get pitch slapped. People are trained unless it grabs their attention or it stirs up their emotions. And the typical image style advertising looks like advertising and it doesn't grab anybody's attention and it doesn't cause any type of emotional response. This means nothing to me. It's an apple with a bite out of it. So what? It means nothing to me. Yet there are zillions of people who will happily camp out overnight in front of an Apple shop to get the next phone or the next device because of the brand association and the emotional response and problems that this solves and the benefits and the end result that this gives them. Not the features, not the advantages, the benefits and the end result, right? So you have to do something different. And that's where direct response marketing comes into play. And that's what we talk about in this Facebook group. It's the cornerstone of everything you're going to learn over the next few weeks in these live streams that will get you clients and will get you podcast interviews and will get you on the radio and will get you on television. I've done all those things because I put stuff out into the world and try different things. I spent 27 years and tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of pounds learning what works and what doesn't work in the real world. And what I teach is only the stuff that works in the real world. Okay? This is not hope and hype. This is not Lamborghinis and Learjets. This is not millionaire in your underwear overnight. Here's an interesting thought. It's not that $20 bills are going to fly out of your laptop. That's not how it really works in the real world. Okay? So the few weeks that we're coming up to, you're going to learn exactly what does work and how to use it. And today I want to just drive home 2 major points, probably. Number one, if you're serious about being highly paid practitioner, thought leader, then you're going to have to recognize that you are first in the business of marketing your thought leadership or your topic. You're not a therapist. You're in the business of marketing therapy. You're not a coach. You're in the business of marketing coaching. All right. Number 2, forget about traditional business card style brand advertising used by the average coach, consultant, speaker, and get ready to learn about direct response stuff, because direct response stuff is key. The first thing we're going to be talk about this next week, is matching your message to your market. If someone tried to communicate with you in Latin and you only spoke English, probably not. We could probably go as far as to say that you most likely wouldn't understand a word that they were saying, and you wouldn't be able to communicate with them at all, because the two of you are not speaking the same language. All right? The first thing that needs to take place in any exchange of communication is both parties need to be speaking the same language and understand each other. Once they speak the same language, they can communicate. In the communication process, we need to first decide who we are going to communicate with so we know what to say. If you know who you're talking to, it makes it a heck of a lot easier knowing what to say. And as long as we have information that is beneficial to them and of interest to them and of value to them, then you capture their attention. That makes sense? So that's what I'm going to talk about next week. So as we wrap this thing up for today, any questions about anything I've talked about so far?
I agree with what you made. I'm not a bad coach, even if I say so myself. I'm crap at marketing.
You could be better.
Could be better. Yes, exactly. That was very interesting, the direct response thing. You're not actually a coach. You're in the business of selling coaching or something like that, or marketing coaching, which has had me have a couple of thoughts. So thank you very much for that.
Good. Today I just want to stir up the old brain and get you thinking, is what I'm doing working? Or could we do something slightly different? And I want you to start, maybe this is a nice piece of homework for you. As you go about your week, have a look at billboards, have a look at TV ads, have a look at infomercials. And the infomercial world is very, very successful because they use only direct response methods. So if you start watching a thing about the ab cradle and 30 minutes later you're buying one and you didn't even know you needed one, it's because they've used direct response marketing all the way through that infomercial. And now you typically do it 3 times. They'll typically cycle the same information 3 times in the average 30-minute slot. I did a modeling project on infomercials. It's fascinating stuff. Have a look at newspapers. Have a look at how the news programs get your attention, right? Pay attention to any mail shots you get through in the post or magazine ads or anything you're looking at or somebody that are trying to market to you. And if you can cut some out and save some as examples and bring them to the next class, that would be really cool. I'm going to do the same, see if I can find any that are absolutely terrible. I usually see more bad ones than good ones. Every now and again, I see one and go, oh, that was good. And I'll bring that to the table. So keep your eyes peeled and start thinking like a marketer. That's the key. Start filtering by, hang on a minute, did they use a headline? Did they use an emotional appeal? Is there any differentiation? Is there any urgency or scarcity? Are they asking for me for a response? Are they asking me for an action? Or is it institutional? Is it tombstone? Is it like, we've been around for 2,000 years and we're really good. If you ever need me, phone me. Phone number. That kind of stuff. Like, nobody cares. And nobody will phone you. So, all right. Okay. So, take all this on board and I will be back here next week. Congratulations, you're all in chapter 1. Well done. Have a good week and keep your eyes peeled. Is it institutional or is it direct response?
Thanks for tuning in to Fully Booked. Got a question for Jonathan or know of someone who'd be a great guest for the show? Email jcalchemy@gmail.com. And remember to leave us a comment, like, and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode of Fully Booked. We'll catch you next time.